What should I do for a thumbnail? Hello! Hi there! Hey howdy hey! Would you click on this? I wouldn't. Hello. It's been a while. How's things? The chances of this video being the utmost level of shambles is probably even higher than usual for a number of different factors. Number one, I haven't done this for a really long time, and when I haven't turned the camera on for ages, I get like major, I was gonna say performance anxiety. I then like overthink it into oblivion and think like, what message am I trying to convey here? Am I being funny enough? Am I being too weird? What will people think of me? So the cogs are spinning on overdrive right now. The main factor that I'm most concerned about is, I'm doing this like it's you. It's not you per se, but it is the camera that I'm talking to right now because I've got a whole new filming setup. And this is my first time giving it a go. I've got a whole new camera body, I've got a new lens, same old trusty microphone up there. And as always with literally any remote technical camera based side of making videos, I literally don't have a peanut of a clue about any of it. So I've done my best to cobble together a new setup. I watched a grand total of like 4 minutes worth of YouTube videos, so surely this is the perfect technical setup. And what I really wanted to do was come straight back in a couple of weeks ago with a new book video, because they are what I feel the most kind of comfortable and right doing. But filming that video was the sad fate of my previous camera. I sat for 2 hours filming a great book video, if I do say so myself. Thought it was a really good one, thought I was on good form. Came to edit it, and basically my entire camera had died a very sad death. I'm still not really sure what happened there. Me and that camera have been together through the very start of all of this. I've had it for like 8 years, and even then, from 8 years ago, I bought it secondhand off eBay. So it could be like over 10 years old, and considering I only ever use it to film extremely long form video, which is not even really meant for, I think it put in a pretty good shift. I'm now on the Canon M50 Mark II, I think, with some kind of fancy lens to blur the background and make it look like I know what I'm doing. And I thought the best way of just getting back into the swing of things here was to do a good old-fashioned coffee break video. We'll just have a catch up. It's like we're hanging out in my living room together. So please do grab yourself a nice warm cup of something. I had to go for this mug, didn't I? Seeing as this mug is my entire personality. But I do hope your 2022 is off to, if not a great start, a good start, a decent start. We're hanging in there, we're doing okay. I'd say I'm a pretty solid 7 out of 10. It would be 8, maybe even verging on 9 at the moment actually, but I'm gonna stick with 7 at the moment because I've got a bit of a weird ailment. It's been going on for about a week now, and it's part of the reason that I have only just settled myself down to film this today. But about a week ago, I was hit with this very strange, like, spells of dizziness. It constantly feels like I'm slightly in motion, so it kind of feels a bit like motion sickness. It kind of feels a little bit like lightheadedness. I have been to the doctors and I've got some medication, so I'm not looking for diagnosis. Apart from diagnosis murder. Always. Dick Van Dyke is always welcome in this house. It actually started on the evening after my nan's funeral. I lost my nan just before Christmas, which is another reason that I've been away. And it was like 7 weeks or something since we lost her till her funeral, but that was like a week ago. And I felt so incredibly tightly wound for the whole day. I felt so anxious, and obviously it's very like emotionally charged, and classic older sibling syndrome. Like I felt very responsible for everybody there. So when I started to feel like a bit lightheaded and dizzy that evening, I kind of just thought it was like an after effect of that. So I spoke to the doctor about it after it didn't go away. In fact, if anything, it got worse for the next few days. There were times when I would get out of bed and literally have to like stand up and get up and try again like 3 or 4 times. Like, it was crazy. I've never ever had dizziness before, and it suddenly felt like I had been on Harry Potter's Forbidden Journey. If you know, you know. That motion sickness level. The main motion that seems to really upset it is when I go from lying down to that kind of motion when I first get out of bed, and when I kind of quickly lean up like I don't mean to brag, but I was doing some sit-ups the other day. That's at least 3 for the last 25 years. So no more sit-ups for me for the next 30 years. Damn, that core strength is really gonna suffer. I'm so proud of my core strength. So I think that's probably enough excuses for why I haven't been here. I can tick off death, illness, technical disaster, what else? So I asked on Instagram if there was anything that anybody had any particularly burning questions about. And there was a bit of a recurring theme about a lot of them, so I thought I would just have a chat about a few things that you might be wondering, try and get back into the swing of this, and then I promise I will show up like a better friend a lot more often than I have been. So let's have a little look-see over on Instagram over here and see what everybody's got to see for themselves. The main thing that everybody wanted to know was about house stuff. Obviously I think the last time that I went through like a real spell of vlogging has been about house related things, so that totally makes sense. We really haven't done anything new at all since we gave the bedroom a little freshen up, but the kitchen is happening. I mean, this year. I don't want to get you too excited now. Don't start like cancelling plans to watch the kitchen renovation vlogs because it's going to be a little while. The main thing that we're finding, honestly, is all the kind of tradesmen and stuff that would be involved in making over the kitchen. They're all incredibly busy. I think maybe because things are kind of moving a little bit more back to normal now and people are ready to refresh their homes after spending so long in them recently. They're like, yeah, wait time's about 22 weeks at the moment. Like, well, genuinely, like that sounds like I'm exaggerating, but that's honestly what's happening, because the first thing we need to do is get new windows in the kitchen. There's a lot of rules and regulations about the area that we live in. We have to specifically go for like a particular type of timber and a particular type of shape and blah, blah, blah. So there's specific companies we have to go for and they are all just ramo busy. So we're honestly having to look at like booking in the windows 22 weeks in advance, and then the kitchen will be after that. I've totally planned it all though, and I think it's going to be really nice. We have actually put a deposit down for like the cupboards and stuff because we decided to make good use of the January sales. Not a secret or anything, so I'll tell you, we're going for like nice, simple, modern white cabinets. We're going for a nice wooden worktop. Obviously we're moving the fridge in. What a time to be alive. We're going to have a really lovely neutral kitchen with a nice pop of colour from the turquoise fridge. We're going to have some nice open shelving. We've got a little bit of colour in the tiles, but nothing crazy. They're kind of like an earthy, almost like a little bit of pinky beigeness to them, just to kind of lift it a little bit. And the last thing that I haven't chosen yet is the floor. The floor is so boring. Like, I don't really care what my floor looks like because I'm literally just walking on it. But also, I do care. I'm so overly full of care about what my floor looks like. We've got a ton of samples sitting on the window ledge over there. But obviously I show them all to Adam and he's like, Lucy, these are all literally exactly the same. Are you going insane? I had a lot of questions about like 2022 plans, what might be coming up this year, including like holiday plans and stuff. And the answer to that is, so the other day, Adam and I, in the evening, we were like, right, let's spend a couple of hours, go through our entire calendar for 2022, figure out how many days of holiday Adam has got to like play around with, and figure out when and for how long we can go on holiday for this year. Because when I tell you we've got a lot of plans in our calendar for this year, that is the biggest understatement of the century. This year, we're going to 5 weddings, all for people that we love very much and cannot wait to see them get married. But it does mean that along with hen do's and stag do's and traveling to weddings and staying the night for weddings and stuff, it's eliminating a whole lot of holiday days for Adam. And it turns out that once we've factored everything in, Adam has 6 days of holiday left for us to actually like go away together on a holiday. A lot of people did ask if we're thinking of doing any more Disney trips this year. Probably, almost certainly not Florida this year. There's a possibility of a Disneyland Paris trip because, well, 2 reasons. One of the weddings we're going to is in France and it's on a Wednesday. So we're probably gonna go for like a couple of days either side to make the most of that travel time and Disneyland Paris is a possibility for that. So if you're here for the Disney vlogs, that's a possibility. It's also even more of a possibility now, actually. I did ask him if he minded me sharing this, and he said he didn't mind. I always like to check these things first, but basically Adam started a new job at the beginning of the year, and it's actually for Disney. And a perk of that is access to the park. So that is super exciting and amazing. Like, I'm just so proud of him. He's done so well to get this job. And obviously that's a very nice little perk for me and my vlogging. Incredibly exciting and amazing. He honestly did so well to get this job. I still think about it now and I'm just like, wow, that was amazing. The main trip though that we really want to do, and kind of the next big holiday that we really want to do is over to America. We really want to do like New England and like Vermont and Boston. I really want to go to Salem, and I specifically would really love to go in the fall, in the fall time, and like see it all beautiful and orange, and you know, I want that dream. So yeah, that's the travel side of things. I feel I'm kind of ready for it now. Like, I've been, up until maybe a month ago or something, I was still a bit like, feel a little bit anxious about traveling still. But now that I've seen I swear everyone's on holiday now. My whole Instagram feed is literally just like, beautiful beach, coolest city ever, amazing time. Here I am on an airplane. I'm just like, okay, I think I'm ready for this now. I was asked if I have any like new hobbies at the moment. I actually don't. I really need to get something like new and crafty on the go. I say that. I'm next to our couch right now, and the thing that I've like found my fingers doing in the evenings while I'm watching TV or whatever is I've just been making loads of pom-poms. I have no idea why. It's very therapeutic to make them. I really like trimming them. That's where I'm at mentally. How about you? I'm gonna invest in another really big, like enormous cross stitch set, because it took me a year to do my last one and I really enjoyed it and it was super satisfying. It's like a huge Sorcerer Mickey thing that literally took me over a year to finish. So that was a good investment. I'm gonna dive into another one of those. I think I find it so relaxing. I need to stock up on my cross stitch supplies. Look, I never said it was gonna be cool around here. The other thing that I actually got loads and loads of questions about is something that I don't think I've even mentioned on here. This is probably gonna seem very random to anyone who doesn't follow me on Instagram, but basically a year ago this week, funnily enough, bit of a coincidence, I hit my 52-week milestone this week. Basically a year ago we bought a Peloton bike under their kind of free trial thing to see how we got on with it. Turns out it was a perfect decision for us, and I have got quite into, I know it sounds ridiculous, I hate the word exercise. I hate it. I have such negative connotations with the idea of exercise. So I'm gonna say I've got quite into movement. I really enjoy moving my body now. It was something I was always almost afraid of, because I felt like I wasn't good enough for it and it wasn't for me. It sounds insanely dramatic, but everyone that asks me about it, I'm like, no joke, it's literally changed my life. I exercise, I do something every day, not necessarily just on the bike. I use their whole program of strength classes and yoga classes and stretching classes and meditation, and I use their whole program, and it's honestly, it's changed my life. Something in me honestly just clicked. And not just my bad knee joints, let me tell you. And I've been very hesitant to share any of it up until quite recently. I share a couple of little bits of like, oh, I've just done this class and I'm really proud of myself, or like I hit 200 spin classes a little while ago and I shared that because I was really proud of myself, because it's just unheard of. Like, I can't believe this happened to me, honestly. Every time I finish a workout, I'm like, what has happened here? What just happened? I think because I've now hit a year, I feel like that's a really good point for me to possibly make a full video about it and about the Peloton bike and my favorite instructors and why I like it and why it works for me. I feel like that's a nice long educated time frame for me to really give nice full, you know, informed answers about that, because I'm so aware that it's an insanely expensive purchase. But I think it could be a really helpful video for anyone who is also in the position of thinking about it or considering it, or even just signing up to their membership or whatever. So if that is a video that you would like, please let me know. And if there's any particular questions that you would like to know, I'm going to ask over on Instagram stories when I get organised next week and think about doing the video. Half of these questions were about Peloton, so I will do that for sure. A lot of questions on what I'm reading at the moment. I have literally last night I finished my latest classic. I try every so often to read a classic because I love self-punishment. I read Brideshead Revisited over the past couple of weeks. Don't recommend it. Didn't love it, let's put it that way. It was a slowie. I'm very glad it's over, and I've now moved on to, oh, here it is. I've moved on to this. This is Ariadne by Jennifer Saint. I've heard really good things. This is what I am reading with my friends in our book club at the moment, so I'm really looking forward to getting stuck into this. Can we just talk about this cover as well? Gold foiling on a cover. I'm yours. Take it. I'll take it. There was quite a lot of questions asking about, like, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing for work at the moment? That kind of thing. I now like keep all that separate from on here, but I'm still writing. And alongside that as well, it probably really doesn't take a genius from things that I've been posting and stuff. It probably really doesn't take a genius to figure out that I'm trying to write a book at the moment. I'm trying to write a fiction book. Yeah, I'm going at my own pace with it, and there is absolutely no one else involved in it, and I'm got no guarantee that anything will even happen with it, that anyone will want it. There is absolutely no, like, there is zero offers on the table, let me tell you. I'm literally doing this just because it's one of my major bucket list things, and I had this epiphany a while ago, and I was like, if I don't do this now, I'm probably never gonna do it. So I am working on that in any spare time that I have. I'm really trying not to put any pressure on it. I'm just writing what I think I would like to read as a book. I just want it to be very fun and lighthearted and nostalgic and feminine and just kind of, you know, give you a little warm and fuzzy kind of feeling. I want it to be that kind of book. Some days I close my laptop and I'm like, this is pretty good. And then other days I close my laptop and I'm like, this is the biggest load of garbage. What am I doing with my time? Why am I bothering to put any time into this? Literally, what am I doing with my life? And I want to delete it all to 0 words and never look at it ever again. Do you know what? Up until fairly recently, I was like, I am not going to share anything about this. I don't want anyone to know that I'm doing this, because if nothing comes of it, I'm going to be so embarrassed and it's going to be such a failure. But even if I just write a story all the way till the end, and I've created a whole fictional thing all from my own brain and nothing ever happens to it, but I just get to the end and I write the end, that is such a massive achievement, and I'll be so proud of myself. And even just thinking about that literally makes me want to cry, because it's just like the biggest achievement that I can possibly think of is writing a book. I think you've got to give these things a go in life, haven't you? Because otherwise you'll always think, what if I'd done that? What if I'd done that and it actually worked out in the best possible way it could have possibly worked out? You don't want to live with those thoughts, do you? So you just got to do it and give it a go and see what happens. So no embarrassment here. If it flops, it flops. If nothing happens from it, at least I still will have done it. So you can maybe or maybe not expect to read it in the year 2095. And let's end on this one, because I think this is a really nice question actually. So thanks Hayley, if you're watching. 3 things from lockdown life you will continue. 3 things you never want to do ever again. So 3 things that I will continue. One is like, I think there was something quite kind of nice and soothing about not being embarrassed to like enjoy the slow side of life. I think there's a real kind of magic in appreciating the slowness of life and allowing yourself to enjoy a slowness to life, rather than, you know, trying to keep everything as busy and as fast-paced as possible. So I think appreciating a little bit of slowness every now and again. I think this like discovery of movement that I've had is something that will hopefully continue through my life now. And I think the third thing as well is that if you were lucky enough to spend lockdown with somebody who you really love and care about, I know that was such a privileged position to be in. I think it's brought out like a new level of understanding of each other, and a kind of very like gentleness and a patience and a new level of kind of like, there's this real like authenticness to like being around each other. And I think that's That's quite like precious and special. 3 things that I will never do again as long as I live. Zoom quizzes. I would like all my quizzing to be done in a pub moving forwards, please. Thing number 2 is cutting Adam's hair. Never again. And the third thing that I will never be doing again is stripping a staircase. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up there because I intended this to be literally like 20 minutes long and I've been filming for actual hours. This is gonna be a fun edit job. I wish this conversation was two-way, but please have a chat with me in the comments instead. Please let me know how you're feeling, what you've been up to. Let me know your good news. Let me know your bad news. Let me know everything. I want to know it all. Thank you so much for sticking with me. I know I tend to disappear for a while. I'm still not very good at balancing this and work and life. I'm sorry I disappear for a while, but I appreciate you so much for sticking with me. And also at the same time, if this isn't content that you enjoy anymore, I completely understand if you want to check out now. Like, that's fine too. I would much rather you found a corner of the internet that you enjoy a bit more. So you can head over on Instagram if you want to keep up with me a little bit more. I'm over at Lucy Jane Wood. But other than that, I hope you have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening. Good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Just because it's been a while, I'm gonna say bye. Goodbye. Thank you so much for watching. Take good care of yourself, and I will see you next time. Mwah!